Hi everyone, I'm back and I want to start reading again, but I'm kind of lazy, so I thought I'd do this tag to try to kind of inspire me to read more books. And this is the 7 Deadly Sins of Reading tag. I believe that's what it's called. I saw this on Melissa's channel, Melissa Books. You can check out her channel below. And I thought, why not? It sounds like a fun tag, so I'll do it. I have 8 questions to answer, so let's get into this. The first question is, what is your most expensive book? And I'm gonna kinda go with the rarity factor, I guess, and say that my most expensive book is the first edition hardcover copy of Cujo by Stephen King. At least I think this is first edition. I'm not exactly sure, but it's the same cover as it is on Amazon. It's hardcover. It has his picture on the back. The pages are brown, so probably lost some value, but I still believe that this is probably my rarest and most expensive book because I looked it up on Amazon, and it's $500 brand new. So, yeah, I'm happy to have this. I've been really meaning to read this, but I kind of don't want to touch it at all because it's so rare. But that's my first answer. The next question is, what is your least expensive book? And I would say that's Suffer the Children by John Saul, and I'm going to go with how much I spent on the book. It retails for $4.50, but I got it for $25 at a thrift store, so I'm going to say that this is my least expensive book, and it's also really damaged. It's got spine bendage, and it's brown, so I'm going to say this is the least expensive, and it has remainder marks, so it's not really, I don't think this is going to be worth anything, but I got it anyway for 25 cents. I thought, well, a quarter, that's a really awesome deal for a good horror book, so why not? And that was the greed section. I forgot to mention that. I can't talk. But the next section is called Wrath. And the question is, what is a book that you have a love-hate relationship with? I may get flamed for saying this, but actually I won't, because this is a book community filled with amazing people that are not judgmental at all. But the book, or rather series, that I have a love-hate relationship with is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I have still yet to finish the first book. I've tried rereading this like 3 times, and I've always gotten like to the same spot, and I can't finish it. I have not read the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th books because I just have no interest at all. The only books that I have completed in the series are books 5, 6, and 7, and let me just say that 5 is my favorite. I love 5 to death. I love it. 6 was great, but not amazing, and then 7 was really disappointing. I think 7 was where I realized that I do have a love-hate relationship with this author and this series, and I have so many problems with the 7th book that I just can't like her, like love her like people do, I guess, and I don't know, there's just so many problems with the 7th book in my opinion, and it's not for me. I'll just say that. The next section is Gluttony, and the question is, what is a book that you have deliciously devoured over and over again? And that book is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I have read this book like 3 times, which sounds like it's not a lot, but that's a lot for me, because I usually don't reread books that much, unless I love it so much. I think this is the only book that I've actually reread, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it is. And, yeah, it's so phenomenal. Everything about this book is wonderful. It's the book that got me into reading, and I go back to it whenever I need to read about life and the struggle of an American teenager and the struggles of people in general, and just, it's so good. If you haven't read this book yet, you're crazy. It's so good. I love it so much, and I love S.E. Hinton, and I need to read more of her books, but this one I can go back to over and over again. Never get tired of it. I love it so much. The next section is Sloth, and it's what book have you neglected to read due to laziness? That would be Battle Royale by Koshun Takami. I've seen the movie, and that's kind of part of why I haven't read this in forever. I bought this back when Borders was still around, if that gives you any consolation how long I've had this book. Oh my gosh. Like I said, I've already seen the movie, and that kind of spoils it for me. I liked the movie a lot, but I don't want to read this huge book. because I've already know what happens, basically. Unless there's, like, a lot of differences, which I'm sure there are, because there usually is in book-to-movie adaptations. Yeah, but I want to read this. I do. It's so disturbing and dark, and I kind of lose hope in humanity when people say that this book is awesome or cool, because it's so gruesome and disgusting and just, same with the Hunger Games. Like, I feel like, I know I'm saying Hunger Games when I'm talking about this book, and I know a lot of people say that this is, like, the first Hunger Games, I guess, or, like, Hunger Games copied from this, but you gotta understand that this was written in Japan in, like, 1999, and the Hunger Games was written in the U.S., alright? So, it's a different region entirely. I know this came out, like, in the U.S., like, when did this come out in the U.S., actually? 2009! Did you know that? Oh, wait, 2003. Never mind, screw it. I'm sorry, never mind. Forget my argument there. I feel like they're different books entirely, even though the concepts are the same. But they're told in different ways, completely. So, anyway, that's my little rant. The next section is Pride, and the question is, what is a book that you talk about the most? I actually have 3 answers for this question because I talk about a lot of books, and I just basically picked one book from each genre, and so here we go. My most talked about YA book is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, which I'm sure is a lot of people's most talked about books because this book is just oh my gosh, all of the things, all of it, just oh my god. If you haven't read this book yet, you really should. It's so good. Oh my god. Just, oh my god, I can't even describe this book to you. Just read it. It's so good. My most talked about non-fiction book is Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. And this book is probably the best. This is my favorite memoir book of all time that I've ever read. And also it has probably the most important lesson you'll ever learn in any single book, ever. Which I'm sure the lesson has also been told in other stories, but I think this one really hits home with the emotions of the message and the story, and the fact that this is nonfiction and it actually happened to somebody, and just, oh, this book is so wonderful. I can't wait to reread this. This is just so good. I haven't even reviewed this yet. I'm waiting to review it because I want to review all of his books, because Mitch Albom is a genius. I'm just going to say that right now. And then my favorite book, it's hard to pick a favorite book, actually, because I love both of those two so much, but another book that I think I talk about a lot, and it's my favorite adult book, at least, is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. I've only read this book once, and the message it tells is just so timeless, and also it sticks home with me, even though I've only read this once, and I remember parts of this book. Oh my gosh. And actually, I feel like his other book, 1,000 Splendid Suns, is also high on this list because there's a lot of good messages in that one too that I love, but I don't talk about it much. And so yeah, The Kite Runner, I love it. And if you haven't read it yet, you really should. It's so good. It just, oh my god, it tears your heart out. It just really does. And really hits home with the message. I love it. The next section is Lust, and it asks, what is the most, I can't even remember the question. What do you find most attractive about male or female characters? I'm going to use With or Without You by Brian Ferry as an example, because my favorite character in the entire world is in this book, and it's like the only character that I could say that I fangirled about and just, like, loved, like, and was infatuated with, and that's Eric. Everything about Eric in this book is what I love about characters in general. He is entirely selfless and only cares about Evan in this book, and I just think that is like the sweetest thing, anything. Oh my god, that's just the thought that someone is completely selfless and only cares about you is just, oh my gosh, the things that he does in this book just amaze me. I feel like, are there really people out there that would do this and just are so kind and so wonderful? And it kind of gives me hope for humanity and gives me hope for, you know, dating in general, and it just, oh my god. Another very attractive thing about this book is that Jason Myers reviewed it. So if you haven't read this book, then you're insane and you need to read it because it's so good. And it also won an award recently. So yeah, go read this book. It is so, so good. And the last question is envy, and I totally read that off of the paper, but I don't care. It's basically, what book do you want to receive as a gift? This is really hard, actually, because there's so many books I want, but I'm happy with any gift, honestly, and I love surprises, so that's kind of a cop-out answer. Any book that, you know, you spend the time and money to get me is going to be amazing and wonderful, and I will be happy, and I'll just, oh, I love it when people buy me stuff, because it's just so sweet, you know? But if I had to pick one, because I have to answer this question, can't just make a cop-out answer, I guess, I really want to read, I guess Ellen Hopkins' new book, Tilt. I really want to get that, but I don't know if I can pre-order it or not right now until I get a job at least. So I guess that's my answer. I don't know, but there's a lot of books that I'll be happy to have. So that is my tag, or the tag that I'm doing. It's not my tag, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm just gonna say, if you want to do this tag, please do it. It's fun, and I really, really want to read With or Without You again. I think I might just start reading this tonight. I love this book. Anyway, so yeah, I'm trying to get back into reading, guys. I'm trying. So yeah, please leave comments or video responses below answering these questions if you wish. I will leave all the questions in the description below as well. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time.